Welcome to another vlog, guys. It's Tiana's
Dad.
first time seeing the drift park. No longer a drift park, so...
Last time I see there's still containers. We just moved the
Well, there was still stuff around, and it looked all like... Looked like there's still things going on here, where now it's like... Yeah, real. I don't even know what to say. I did tell you guys I was going to do a vlog just to show you guys the now empty drift park. Obviously the wall used to run along there. You know, one of the worst parts about this is, like, it kills me the amount of money we put into this place to keep drifting like better for drifters, you know what I mean? Like, it was great, but it's like it should have been for longer, you know what I mean? Spent like 110 grand on the bank up the back, 30 something grand for little bits of asphalt there and there. It was like 15 grand for a patch here that just broke up anyway because of dodgy companies. We had that first extension we ever did was what, 10 grand or something, and he did it badly and there was a huge puddle.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, so there's a company called Australian Asphalting, I think he was. Down the back down there, we did our first ever extension and guy did a terrible job. There was a huge puddle on the entry to the corner. Like, I'm talking like 6 inches deep, big puddle that would happen whenever it rained. Oh, and obviously because it was so deep, the water would just sit in there for long periods of time. He literally claimed bankruptcy, didn't want to come back and fix it. The other asphalting we had done, which was like in the middle there and that section and a little bit here on this corner, I think it was about 36 grand. And again, they stuffed a bunch of it up. They ran over one of their bobcat operators, drove over a bunch of it just after they'd done it and left ruts in it, which then they came back and did fix it, but like fixed it in the worst way possible. They just cut out like little bits, and anyone that knows anything about asphalting knows as soon as you have a cut in it, that's where the damage comes from. And then water gets in that cut and it just turns into like a cluster and it breaks up and caused a heap of problems. We met Cheech and Chong when we built the Nico drop, which is our drop in there, which has now been the Nico drop at Adam's LZ's house is the exact dimensions of the drop here at Archfield Drift Park. I sent him the exact width, the exact angles and everything so he could copy it, but I think his would probably be smoother than ours because we hand troweled ours, and that was me, Cheech, Chong, and a few other boys. We just went hard and did it all by hand, and that was sort of how I met those guys. We also did all these ripple strips all over the place. We did all the ripple strips because when we first took over the place, it had these crazy ripple strips that would smash sumps. You remember that?
Yeah.
People destroying sumps and stuff?
Yeah.
It was bad.
I definitely went over them a couple of times in 31s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get that 6-cylinder back.
Well, put it this way, I know, like, we had a rental car, R33, and we had multiple rental cars. This is why we stopped doing rental cars. We had 3 guys turn up, they wanted to rent 2 cars, and we had 3 at the time, but they just wanted to rent the 2. They went out and they wrecked the 31 by hitting the ripple strips too hard, and some electrical issue happened, but they were like jumping the ripple strips, like just not gonna make the corner, still stayed foot in, like just treating it like a hired go-kart, not realizing it's a full-blown drift car. Then they're in my 33 Skyline at the time, which was another one of our rental cars, and they smashed down on the exhaust so hard that it snapped the studs on the engine. And it ended up blowing the turbo, broke the studs on the motor, and like it was a huge cluster. And it was around that time we stopped doing rental cars, so that didn't last that long for us, unfortunately. Just other people wrecking it for everybody else, I guess, assuming that because it's a rental you can treat it like shit, and that just wasn't the case. And those guys had to pay for it. You know, we were fair as we were way fairer than we should have been with those guys because they were just dipshits basically.
I think we ended up charging labour.
Yeah, we did charge labour, but like bottom of the barrel labour.
Yeah.
Like we got people to come and do it like as a favour and cheap, so
yeah, that
was like a stitch up. So just tried to make the place bigger and better. So we paid around, I think around 26,000 for the pits to get paved. That was another huge expense. The pits were a dusty, crappy just gravel and mud and dirt, and it rained and it was disgusting when you were here. So we went ahead and we spent a bunch of money, obviously, paving the pits. Never had tyre changing. We instigated the whole tyre changing and tyre shops here. We had multiple tyre shops go through the place, and then we ended up just running the tyre shop ourselves because we're getting too much turnover, and we'd rather like people coming and going too much. So we ended up running the tyre shop ourselves, which is really good. Now we have a pretty rad tyre machine, so I can't complain there. What else did we have to do? We went through multiple times. We went through huge drama with this place as far as it getting shut down. Even us taking this place over was a massive cluster, because the guy that used to run the place said he owned a lot more than he did. And then when we finally went through the proper connections to get this place, turns out he did us for a couple grand, didn't he?
Yeah, so he tried to sell us everything in the venue separately.
Grandstands that he didn't own. Yeah,
grandstands, containers, the lights, like everything, like every little thing that was here he tried to sell, which majority of it was John Kelly's stuff. Or it was
the Speedway, yeah.
The Speedway.
Fixtures.
Yeah, so it was part of it, and he couldn't sell it. And when we took over, he was like, oh, you know, you can't meet the Speedway, I'm going to liaise with it, like, you know, down the line you can meet them, but, you know, I've got a good relationship with them, so you just got to go through me and everything, like, try to get us to not talk to them. Turns out that was a freaking lie. He owed them a bunch of money. It was a whole cluster. Actually, talking about fixtures, that's another thing. We spent 20 grand, I reckon, on lights and light poles. Yeah. So we moved a pole. Actually, we moved both those poles, I think. I think we moved both those poles and put that pole in, did a bunch of lights there, did some new lights on this one. Just those two big LED lights here, they were over 5K on their own, and then we had all the wiring all redone and everything. So that's, you know what I mean, a lot of this is just part of running business, like the light stuff, but there was a lot of stuff we did just to make it drifting a ton better, you know what I mean? That was where, you know, when we'd have things go down here and we were trying to like raise money and stuff to get stuff going, you know, and I did a giveaway with one of my cars one time to like fix the track, and that was the money I used to do the back corner. People don't understand, like, yes, this was a business, yes, we had to make some money, but there was so much passion here, and that's why it got as good as it was, because no one with a business brain, and strictly business brain, would have spent 120 grand making a banked corner down there. It doesn't make any freaking sense. Without 110 grand. Without getting a loan as well. Like, we didn't get loans, we didn't finance stuff. Yeah, we sold a car and we ended up getting some sponsors to put some signage up. We did everything we could to raise the money to get that happening, but that was like, you know what I mean? That was not a business decision. That was I went to America, I drifted a bank corner, I'm like, we need this. Same deal with Nico, drifted Nico, we needed Nico. Front straight, I changed the design of the front straight because we wanted that Mihan style flick. There was little flavors from around the world that we put into this place, and like, definitely made it an extremely unique place, and nothing like it in Australia, that's for sure. And the world for that matter. It's very hard to find a track where you can hot lap like you could at Archie and just punch laps out just time after time. And you know, the fact that the rules, and it was weird because we had very little rules. You know, you didn't have to be scrutinized. It was a given that your car, you know, you turn up with a car that works well. The only real rules we had is you had to wear shoes, and you had t-shirt and shorts, and you must run a bonnet. And the whole bonnet thing was one of the biggest, and a muffler. But those two things were the only things you had to do, and you could completely run amok. And we still had a ton of complaints. Oh, I have to run a muffler? It's like... Yeah, people complaining all the time, for years. Up the muffler like, thing. No, right till the end. Yeah, a week before we shut down, there was people showing up to our events being like, I don't know how to run a muffler. It's like, are you kidding? Like, come on. Yeah. So the muffler thing, and then I had someone even message me about something the other day. They're like, oh, you dogged my mate because, you know, a guy tried to turn up without a bonnet. And it was like, it's been a rule since the dawn of time. The greatest thing about Archie is the crowd. You know, the wall was here, there was a line there, and the crowd was there. The crowd was less than a meter potentially from where you could hit the wall
split a radiator hose and spray them in the face with boiling hot water. So
because I'm sure his friend wouldn't have liked being sprayed in the face with boiling hot fluid.
Exactly, exactly.
How about we do it to him, and then if he's okay with it, then we'll let him run with no bonnet.
Yeah.
Like,
so
that's the idiocracy that we were dealing with that stuff.
I don't know, for me, the muffler thing, I liked the muffler thing, to be honest. There's so many shitty sounding cars that need mufflers. Like, go to your next track day where they don't require mufflers, and I would say a majority of the cars sound bad. You know what I mean? Every V8, in my opinion, pretty much needs a muffler. Every NA car basically needs a muffler. No, every NA car needs a muffler. They just don't sound good without one. You know,
if it was up to me, I would have dropped the DB reading to 80.
Just so it's quieter.
People don't see it from like those other points either. They're like, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to a drift track, I'm going to enjoy myself, I'm going to drive. I'm like, shut up, cars. Like, I just so many times. And
or you'd be screaming at people.
You'd yell at people, and then you're like, I'm not yelling at you because well, I am, but I'm like, I'm yelling because I have to, otherwise you can't hear me. And then there was people like, oh, well, she was rude, she yelled at me. I'm like, I had to yell at you. If I spoke in my normal voice, you wouldn't be able to hear me.
Yeah.
Like,
but that was part of Archie's charm as well, you know what I mean? You were, the amount of people that would come to this front gate and just stand there just like, and get their phone out, and you'd literally have to be like, oi, come over here to the front, you know, to the front desk, because they would just, you know, the stepping up to that gate and just seeing what was going on in here was just insane. Like, the place was just freaking wild. And look, we are trying, you know what I mean? Like, everyone keeps asking, are you building another track? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? You're gonna try, you know what I mean? But if any of this was easy, you know what I mean, it would have been done, you know what I mean? So it's a situation of maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, one day something pops up. Are we going to move away? That's a possibility as well, but you know, visas and all that stuff is not easy. What are we going to do? We don't know. Yeah, don't know.
Spring clean the wardrobe.
Yeah. So we do have savings, so you know, we are using a little bit of time just to like gather ourselves. This is obviously a pretty big hit to the system, and yeah, it's something else. We do have the RIP ADP bottle openers. We just got a new batch, so check them out on lukefink.com. I think we're sold out of Archie shirts, aren't we?
Yeah, no more Archie shirts. We still have some Archie stickers. Wouldn't mind doing a RIP ADP sticker design, maybe a shirt design. We really need to get some new shirt designs out. We have been super lazy.
Well, lazy and busy.
Well, yeah, it's very hard to get someone to do a design, and like even paying people to do a design that you like, that works, that you can go and get printed.
Yeah. Well, we do have a tattooist friend coming around tomorrow, so maybe she can knock something up. She has pretty cool stuff as well. So yeah, that's Archfield Drift Park, RIP. I don't know if there's any other questions about the drift park or anything, just write them down in the comment section below and I'll try and answer everything I can. But that's it, we come here today, it's Tuesday, we were locked out. We had to call the landlord to come and open it up so we could get our last bins, because we had some bins here still. I'm still waiting for some bins to get picked up, but we loaded some on the back. So that's pretty much all she wrote. Very, very sad for drifting, full stop. Sad for motorsport. Fingers crossed we can get something else happening here in Queensland, or at least close by in southeast Queensland, to get more stuff. Obviously we've got Rally Raceway, support them. Queensland Raceway, it's hard with the cone thing and all that, but you know, you could just, I guess we got to try and play by the rules there. And you know, even though they seem ridiculous with the cone thing, people can dirt drop on bits where there isn't cones, and then if they touch a cone where there is cones, even though the cones are on the track, you get in trouble. So that's a weird one. I haven't been to a drift day at QR since they've instigated that stuff, so I'm going to go to one soon and see what it's all about. And I do see a ton of people complaining about it and obviously getting pretty freaking upset about it. So hopefully, you know, there's like a good resolution for all that, you know, where everybody can be happy, you know, the track owner, drivers and all that sort of stuff, and we can start having some more fun like we used to at QR. QR used to be a fantastic place, and it looks heaps better now, and it's a more professional looking place, but obviously that you know, part of that is making it very, very hard for us drifters to have the fun that we used to have there, I guess. So, you know, no one likes getting in trouble, so it's one of those things. So anyway, we're going to keep pushing forward to try and get a track going.
Also,
what do you want?
How many of you didn't know that there was a tree behind the canteen? That
What, you didn't
big
know?
giant, no, I knew, but when I put a picture up of the container being moved in the chat, Christy's like, I never knew that there was a tree there. So I'm wondering how many people that have been here or that have watched the channels and stuff like that, turn around, show the tree. How many of you didn't know that that giant tree was behind the canteen? Because I get it was behind the canteen, but the canteen's only, what, 9 foot tall?
Yeah.
Like that tree's
Huge.
it's probably 3 times the height of that. You could definitely see it.
Christy's pretty ditzy as well, so
She also worked in the canteen and walked to the canteen at every point.
she's probably right.
And
Who was looking over there when there's cars drifting?
People that don't care about the cars. But also the amount of times that she had to go behind the canteen to tell the kids, stop playing behind the canteen on the hill. So she actually went around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just want to know if anyone else didn't realise that there was a tree behind the canteen.
That's it?
I knew it was there.
You know it was there?
I've had to climb up on the canteen. I've crashed into that tree before on top of the canteen.
Oh, walking around.
Yeah.
Just quickly, guys, the Kansai giveaway is still live. We're just waiting for the last stickers to sell on that. We can do the giveaway.
We got about,
that's worldwide.
about
I'll send them to you in anywhere, Guatemala, wherever. It doesn't matter where you are. They'll get sent to your door. So definitely get on and grab yourself a sticker to get in that draw.
I think there's about 35 or 40 stickers left.
Okay, cool. So jump on there. They're $50 a sticker. Basically, you're just paying the $50 to get in the draw to win a $2,000 set of wheels delivered to your door.
And
so
you get a bonus sticker. That's what it is. It's buy an entry, you get a bonus sticker.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, guys, I can't thank everyone enough for their support. The volunteers here at Archie over the years, we've had some of the best people around. We've also had some absolute shitters, but we've had a lot more good people than we have had bad people here, and you know, we loved the place, and now it's just living on in video games. There's a new game coming out on phone too. If you've seen the Corvette, you've seen Drift Runner down the side, that's a game that's coming out soon, and it's going to have a full-blown Archie layout. It's going to have my A86 in the game, and it's going to have my Corvette in the game, and some of my other cars will no doubt eventually make their way onto that game as well. But it's from the guys that make Burnout Masters, so that is going to be freaking rad. And you know, you'll be able to session Archie on your phone, you know, Assetto Corsa and all that. There's a couple of different versions of Archie out there that you can go and experience. So go and experience it if you hadn't, even though it's on a game. Definitely not the same as driving it in person, but yeah, it was a freaking experience, guys. And I don't know, 7 years of my life, chapter closed. It's weird. I think it's very weird for Scarlett in Boston, because that's all they've ever known. But life goes on. We'll keep pushing hard, and yeah, I don't like to fail. I like to win, and you know, I've been fortunate in my life where I have a attitude of just making things work, and always have. So yeah, we'll make it work, and we'll keep living. Thanks heaps for watching. Thanks for anybody that came out to Archfield Drift Park. We appreciate you guys. See you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye.
Damn, feeling lucky. Out above my own streets. Us two in these trees. Diamonds on my feet. Caught up in these talks. Circling my head top. Should've been more cautious. Now I got